Good evening, students. In this session, we will continue the evolutionary stages of kidneys in vertebrates. Now, 4 stages we are observed the evolutionary stages of the kidneys. The first one is the archaenephros. It is the basic and ancestral kidney. Archaenephros are the basic and ancestral kidney. Then pronephros is also called anterior kidney. That means in very early stage after the ancestral kidney, the next stage is the pronephros. That's why it is called as the anterior kidneys. Here, common example is tadpole larvae of frog. Tadpole larvae of frog is a common example of the pronephros kidney. The next one is the mesonephric. These are the middle stage of kidney. Middle stage of kidney. Here common example are the fish and frog. What are the kidneys present in fish and frogs? It is the example of mesonephric type of kidney. The next one, metanephric kidney. It is also called posterior kidney. Why it is called posterior kidney means it is a more advanced type of kidney. More advanced type of kidney. Common examples are the reptiles, aves and mammals. These are the common example of metanephric type of kidney. So these are the evolutionary stages of kidneys in vertebrates. So archaenephros, basic and ancestral type of kidney. Pronephros is the very primary stage. That's why it is called as the primitive kidney. It is also called primitive kidney. Anterior kidney also called primitive kidney. For example, tadpole larvae of frog. Mesonephric, the lower vertebrates, for example, pisces and amphibians, like that of fish and frog. Metanephric is the more advanced type of kidney, higher vertebrates. What are that? Reptiles, aves and mammals. The next one is what is ammoniotelium? Elimination of ammonia as a waste product from the body of the organism is called as the ammoniotelium. Ammonia is eliminated as a waste product from the body of an organism. It's called as the ammoniotelium. Ammonia is eliminated as a waste product from the body of an organism is called as ammoniotelium. Here common examples are aquatic amphibians, bony fishes are the common example of ammoniotelium. The next one is the what are the organisms are excrete the ammonia as a waste product. Those are called as the ammonotelic organisms. Aquatic, amphibians, bony fishes are the ammonotelic organisms. Why? Because they excrete the ammonia as a waste product. The next one is the ureotelism. Urea is excreted as a waste product from the body of an organism. It is only we are called as the ureotelism. Then what are the common examples for urea is excreted as a waste product? Terrestrial, amphibians, and mammals are the common example for ureotelism. What are the organisms excrete the urea as a waste product? Those are called ureotelic organisms. Here, amphibians and mammals are ureotelic organisms. Why? They excrete the urea as a waste product. That's why they are called as the ureotelic organisms. Next one. Uric acid excreted as a waste product from the body of an organism is called as the uricotelism. Uricotelism is a process to excrete the uric acid as a waste product from the body of an organism. That is only we are called as uricotelism. Now, what are the examples are coming under uricotelism? Reptiles, aves, and land snails are the common example for uricotelism. Uricotelic organisms, that means here the reptiles, aves and land snails excrete the uric acid as a waste product. That's why these are called as the uricotelic organisms. Now, what is the importance of ammonia? Ammonia is a highly toxic substance. It is a highly toxic substance. It needs more water for excretion. It needs more water for its excretion. It is a highly toxic substance. That's why it needs more water for their excretion. The next one, urea. It is a moderately toxic. It needs moderate water for its elimination. After that, uric acid. It is a less toxic. Substance. it needs very less water for the elimination. Very less water for the elimination. For the elimination from the body. So ammonia is a highly toxic, that's why it needs more water for their elimination. Production of ammonia and elimination will need more water. Then urea is, it is a moderately toxic, it is not much toxic. That's why what happened? It needs moderate water for its elimination. Why the ammonia is more toxic? Only one reason. Because it is readily soluble in the blood, and through the blood it is distributed over all the body, so that the organism is going to die if it is not eliminated from the body. That's why what happened? Ammonia is immediately converted into the urea in liver. It is a highly toxic. Ammonia is a highly toxic. That's why it is immediately converted into the liver, converted to the urea in liver. So liver is helpful for conversion of ammonia into urea. Then urea is eliminated from the body. How it is eliminated? With the help of the kidneys. Here, kidneys are the organs helpful for the elimination, and liver is helpful for the conversion of ammonia into the urea. Uric acid is very less toxic. That's why it needs very less amount of water for the elimination. Uric acid is commonly, they are excreted in the form of pellets or paste. Excreted in the form of pellets or paste. Now we are going to be in the human excretory system. With the help of the diagram, we can understand the human excretory system. Under the human excretory system, what are the important parts are present? A pair of kidneys. What are the parts present under the human excretory system? Is a pair of kidneys and also a pair of ureters. These are the kidneys, pair of kidneys, and also ureters. These are the ureters. A pair of kidneys and a pair of ureters. Then urinary bladder. These are the, it is a urinary bladder. Then urethra. These are the important parts present under the human excretory system. Now we are going to discuss the one by one. What is the location of human excretory system? It is located in between the last thoracic vertebrae, that means the thoracic 12 and third lumbar vertebrae. Lumbar 3. In between the last thoracic vertebrae and also the lumbar 3 vertebrae, human excretory system is located. Now, what is the shape of the kidneys? The shape of the kidney is bean shaped. Bean shaped kidneys are present. What is the color of the kidney? The color of the kidney is reddish brown color. Reddish brown color. The next one. What is the size? Size of the kidney. Under the size, the length is 10 to 12 centimeters. Then width is 5 to 7 centimeters, and thickness 2 to 3 centimeters. You see the length. It is the length of the kidney. Then what is the width? It is the width of the kidney. Then thickness. Thickness means, so the thickness is a one of the measurement under the kidney, which is commonly 2 to 3 centimeters. That is the thickness of the kidneys. The next one, after that thickness, weight. The weight of the kidney is 120 to 170 grams. Each kidney is having the 120 to 170 grams. The next one, you see the kidney, the outer side of the kidney is the convex shape, the inner side of the kidney is the concave shape. It is the, if you see the kidney, it is the outer side is the convex shape, it is the inner side, it is the concave shape. Kidney is protected by a membrane that is called as a tough connective membrane, that is called as what? Capsule. It is protected by a membrane that is called as what? The protective coat is called as the, what is that? Capsule. Capsule is the protective coat to protect the kidney. In the concave region, an aperture is there, that is only we are called as the hilum. A notch or aperture is there, that is only called as the hilum. What is the importance of hilum? Through this hilum only, arteries, veins and also the nerves are enter and also the come outside. Renal arteries, renal veins and nerve cells are enter and come out from this aperture only. From this aperture only. A notch is present in the concave region of the kidney. With the help of this only, the help of this notch only, what happened? Renal arteries. It is the renal artery enter and nerve cells also enter. Renal veins are come outside and also the ureters also come outside with the help of this notch. Now, dorsal aorta, it is present. What is the dorsal aorta means? It is the larger artery. Through this artery only, oxygenated blood is entered. Oxygenated blood is entered through this dorsal aorta. Dorsal aorta is divided into the two branches. Those are the renal arteries. So right side one renal artery is entered into the right kidney. Left side one renal artery is entered for left kidney. This is the right kidney and this is the left kidney. Dorsal aorta, it is the largest aorta which supply the oxygenated blood to the kidneys with the help of the right and left renal arteries. These are the branches of renal. These are the branches of dorsal aorta. So from here onwards, the blood is divides. What kind of blood? Oxygenated blood. Divides and enter into the renal arteries. Finally reach to the kidneys. So in this oxygenated blood, waste products also present. That means this oxygenated blood is having the waste products or toxic substances also. Then what happened? Whatever the waste, whatever the oxygenated blood is there, that is having the toxic substances also. The toxic substances are going to be filtered in the kidney. Then only purified blood is again come back through the, what is that? Renal veins. With the help of the renal veins, purified blood is come back. Then enter into the inferior vena cava. It is the inferior vena cava. What is the inferior vena cava? It is the largest vein. The two renal veins, right and left renal veins, are going to be enter into the larger vein that is called as inferior vena cava. Through this inferior vena cava, the purified blood, that means the deoxygenated blood, doesn't have any toxic substances. That is entered into the inferior vena cava. So first, dorsal aorta, oxygenated blood is there along with toxic substances. Through the renal arteries, it is entered to the kidneys. Then what happened? In the kidneys, blood is purified. Then what happened? The purified blood is come back through the renal veins and enter into the inferior vena cava, and which is entered into the circulatory system. Then what are the filtered toxic substances are there? That is entered into the, what is that? Ureters. Through the ureters, which is reached to the urinary bladder, then it is released outside through the urethra. You see the flow chart, we can very easy to be understand. Dorsal aorta having the oxygenated blood along with toxins, toxic substances. Then the blood is oxygenated blood with toxic substances are entered into the dorsal aorta. Then reach to what? Renal arteries. Then renal arteries to kidneys. In kidneys, what happened? Filtration of toxic substances are done. In kidneys, filtration of toxic substances are done. Then what happened? The purified blood, that means the deoxygenated blood without toxins, enter into where? Renal veins. Enter into renal veins. Then renal veins to inferior vena cava. Inferior vena cava to what happened? Circulatory system. Then what happened? What are the toxins are there? That is entered to the ureters. Toxins only enter into ureters. Then ureters to what happened? Urinary bladder. Toxic substances reach to urinary bladder. Then urethra. Released out into released out from the atmosphere. Released out from body of the organism into the atmosphere. So this is the process. The blood is going to be purified in the kidneys. Dorsal aorta, oxygenated blood and waste is entered. Then through the renal arteries, which is reached to the kidneys. In kidneys, filtration is done. Then filtered blood is go back through the inferior vena cava with the help of the renal veins. Then only toxic substances pass through the ureters and reach to the urinary bladder. Then which is released outside through the urethra. Thank you, students. Next session we will continue.